This is day 15 of my WMC challenge. And within this episode, what I'm going to be doing is um, I'm going to be talking about how my day starts and how it ends. A lot of you will be thinking that probably how my day goes is always smooth, well planned, and no hitches here and there. But actually, that's not the case. So, in fact, in reality, I experience some challenges, especially when I know that I have to juggle contents from Nurse Jonathan in Zebuka, Reflex and the Nurse, juggle clients, one-on-one classes, and equally have to juggle group classes. Okay, for example, then, this is how it goes. Let me just give an example of how my day starts, all right? I'm going to be very, very honest here. Now, whenever my day starts, what I usually do is I wake up, and I pray. Very, very important because I just have to thank God for life. Because the reason why I'm even here talking to you is because I'm alive, right? And I'm not the one keeping myself alive. After praying, I start to think about what's next to be done. Sometimes I already have a journal where I already put my day's activities, but there are some times where I can be very tired at the end of the day that I may not have enough time to journal. Okay, so but nonetheless, work must be done. All right. Now, once I'm done making, my planning my day, probably in my head or writing it out. One thing I also do is I equally start getting my equipment ready. All right. As I getting my equipment ready, putting them in place for the next shoot. All right. But it depends on the kind of content. If it is the type where I have to stand behind my blank background and speak, that is another hassle. If it's the type where I have to go out and speak, that's another hassle. Right now, I'm currently at Kilimanjaro, somewhere in the heart of the Eastern Heartland. All right. So I came out here to make this content because of limitations. I had to travel. You see, but content has to be made and has to be submitted as soon as possible. Now, the next thing I do is I start looking at my schedule. Do I have any personal clients I'm meant to take for that very day? Now, if I see that there is no personal clients I'm meant to take for that very day, I'm relieved. But sometimes I do have a personal client to take. Now, let's say I have a personal client to take. I have to check what exactly am I going to take them on. I have to check what exactly am I going to read. Is it going to be very tough or not? Do I have to do in-depth research or not? You understand? So that every single student that I take get the best and not some shabby work. But sometimes too, I would have to take these students and I'm very, very exhausted. But then I have to push myself to deliver. You understand? So that people would know that whatever they see on the internet, what they are getting in private one-on-one classes is way better. As usual, that's how it's meant to be. Because needs are tailored to different individuals. Now, the very next thing I do is I equally start making designs for thumbnails, especially if the designs are unique or the contents are unique. I already batch create thumbnails depending on the kind of content I make. But on the other hand, it's not the case. All right. On the other hand, it's not the case. So I keep on doing whatever I'm doing. So you get me. Now, the day's activities will go by. At some point, I get exhausted. Sometimes the nature of procrastination might want to come in. But nonetheless, it happens like that. But there's nothing I can do. But make sure work must be done. So, what do I use to reward myself after a long day of work? I can decide to, go through social media, probably watch those that are ahead of me, or have accomplished the things I want to accomplish. Or I watch anime. Yes, I watch anime. So for those of you out there that think anime is meant for kids, your nurse Jonathan actually looks into anime. So, anyways, by night time, I usually take some clients, especially those in diaspora or European students. And once I'm done, I make my prayer, edit my designs along the way, upload them, and share them. For example, this one I'm making, I have to make it early because the moment I step my leg into wherever I travel to, the network goes out. So I need to make sure that I uploaded. So this is how my day, um, I'm just sharing what my day looks like. I'm being as authentic as possible. It's not always a bed of roses. Sometimes challenges come here and there. So this is day 15. Get ready for day 16. And I am not Jonathan Zebuka, and it is my job to shape the future of healthcare through knowledge.